we really need to stop buying so much brand new stuff. It's 90 billion tonnes of brand new raw materials are extracted from the planet every year. In 1 decade, we have doubled the amount of new resources that are being extracted out of the earth. Billions of jobs are attached to our endless consumption of new stuff. So we really need to rethink how we can all be useful but not endlessly deplete the planet's resources. This is where we need an intervention from governments, from academia, from think tanks, from environmentalists. Our economic model is a linear model. We really need to move to a circular model. That is possible because all these things are social constructs. We made these systems. We can unmake them, we can change them. Unfortunately, a lot of people in power and who are in roles that could be laying out this vision for a transition have the most to lose from getting rid of a linear economy. And they have so much money that they're kind of protected from a lot of what we may endure as ordinary citizens. We have a bonkers thing in the Western world, you hear it all the time, where governments talk about economic growth. Well, why can't we just go for economic stability? We need to understand the concept of enough, and I think the richness really in being alive doesn't come so much from stuff anyway, so it's all a bit beside the point. Every year in the UK, and this is now a couple of years out of date, 600 million tonnes of brand new products and goods enter the UK economy. And in the UK, we recycle around 125 million tonnes, and landfill and incineration accounts for about just over 200 million tonnes. So you kind of go, okay, every year that's like 300 odd million tonnes of stuff. Like, what's happening to that? So one thing is we don't measure reuse. So Freegal, the website I help to run that enables reuse, we do measure what we do. There's a lot of stuff which stays in circulation in a positive way, whether that be through Sotheby's or a vintage store or a charity shop or Freegal or eBay or Gumtree. It is moving around, but no one's measuring it. But also, a really weird thing is since austerity, so the last 10, 11 years, one of the top 10 growth businesses in the UK is self-storage. People are so poor in some parts of the UK and where I'm from in Brighton that they can't afford to buy food, yet in exactly the same communities there are people that have so much stuff they're renting extra space away from their home to store their stuff. Down in Brighton for the last couple of years with a couple of other people, I've run a thing called Tech-takeback, and that's where we get some community space. We acquire that for a day or a couple of days, and then we throw out on social media that people can bring their unwanted electronics into our space. We get funding from the Extended Producer Responsibility regulation run by DEFRA. There's a pot of money that you can access, and so we guarantee to people that their electronic goods will be data wiped. In the whole city of Brighton and Hove has a population of about 275,000 people, and spread around the city are 15 great big metal drop-off bins for small electricals and electronics, and they're all over the city, and over one whole year they will collect about 1/2 ton. We did 28 days of pop-up shops over a 15-month period, and we got 8.9 tonnes of electronics from less than 1,000 citizens. So bear in mind, there's 273,000 citizens in the city, and only 1,000 came to our 28 days of pop-up shops. It kind of gives you an idea of the astounding volume of hoarded electronics that there are in people's homes and offices. 70% of what we received is unreusable, it's unrepairable, it's obsolete, or just way beyond any form of repair or reuse. 45% of all electronics are actually plastic. We're going to work on that and reprocess the plastic and turn the plastic into spectacle frames and get the valuable, the metals and all of that recycled and back into the system, because then they can make new stuff. I would really like there to be no need for what I do in 20 years. We can't double our resource usage in the next 10 years like we did in the last 10 years. We're going to run out of finite resources. I mean, especially the ones in our technology, in our electronics. They are rare earth minerals, and they're very finite and they're very valuable. So, we need to turn the tap off and be respectful. And then that means that there'll be resources next year and the year after, and that means everybody can have an okay life.